ladies and gentlemen, I had a dream this off season. I had a dream that I know this is going to sound crazy, but the Indianapolis Colts won the Super Bowl. Andrew Luck won the Super Bowl. And this weekend, the horrific reality that will never happen came crashing down. Good afternoon and welcome to the podcast. I'm Nick Drago. Today on the show, we're going to talk all about Andrew Luck. Yeah, we're going to get into that, along with the rest of the football scores from this weekend. NFL's right around the corner, so booyah, I'm excited about that. Plus, we got to talk about this Evgeny Kuznetsov 4-year suspension. What? And, of course, Dwight Howard returning to the Lakers. Crazy weekend, people. Crazy weekend. Stick with us, friends, because sports starts now. Welcome to the Sports Podcast with me, your host, Nick Drago. If you're new to the program, first off, hi, how are you? Come on in, take a seat. Do you want some tea, coffee? I'm not much of a hot beverage kind of guy. I can offer you a giant thing of water, which I apparently left in the other room, so I can't offer you that right now, but that's okay. If you're new to the program, the premise here is that I want to give you all the sports news and information from the previous week while giving you some information on what you can expect over the next few days, months, years, and so on. If you like what you hear, find us on Soundcloud, Twitter, YouTube, and the Facebook. Just type in Sports with Nick Drago. Take a look for our logo. You know, it's got the star and the three sports things going across the screen. Pretty cool, right? Right! Now, what was I going to say? I had a good weekend. Did you have a good weekend? Hung out with my in-laws this weekend. We went all through Philly. Got to see some crazy Philly stuff. The Liberty Bell and the church, St. Peter and Paul Church, and the art museum. The Rocky Steps. We were watching people try to run up the steps really quick, and then they get exhausted halfway through. Entertaining stuff, indeed. Beyond that, beyond that, everything else is feeling golden on my end. How are you? You doing well? I started a new podcast recently, for our friends out there who love hearing my voice, but don't really love hearing me talk about sports all the time. That's okay. I know other things. I know a lot about other things. I am a doctor, after all. I don't really drop that very often on the show, but it's true. Anyway, if you're looking for me, but, some things beyond sports, look for Big Spoon, Little Spoon, a new podcast that just came out with myself and my friend Jamie Grum. The two of us talk about any random topic. We just pull it from a hat, start reading. It's kind of fun. And I think you'll get a few laughs while learning things along the way. So, let's move on to sports, right? Baseball Players Weekend this weekend. We'll talk about that, and I love it. No, I don't. But let's just look at this weekend's games. That's where we're going to start. The Orioles and the Rays playing each other this weekend, trading jabs. Rays won 2 of the 4 games. They won 5-2 August 22nd, 7-1 on Friday the 23rd, and then they lost 7-1 to the Orioles Saturday and lost 8-3 today. Now, Baltimore, as of today, has been officially eliminated from postseason contention. That sucks. Mike Elias, the GM of the Orioles, says to expect some changes this year. Brandon Hyde may not be returning as manager, but, he's probably going to start cleaning house after this season comes to an end. And the Braves took on the Mets this weekend, winning all 3 games. 2-1 Friday. That one went into 14 innings. 9-5 on Saturday and 2-1 today. Francisco Cervelli joined the Braves this weekend. First game, he had 3 hits and 3 RBIs. Not a bad start for Cervelli in his Atlanta career. By the way, before we get too far away from talking about the Orioles, they did break a record this weekend for 258 home runs hit against them. That record was previously held by the Kansas City Royals, who celebrated by winning a 10-inning game against the Indians. Indians pushed back in the ninth to bring it to 8-8, but the Royals, then they went on to win it. They also lost 2 games to the Indians this weekend. And the Miami Marlins, they've had Philly's number all season. On Friday, they beat them 19-11. Philly had a 7-0 lead that they blew. Philadelphia, the Phillies did win 9-3 on Saturday, but then lost again today, 3-2 to the Miami Marlins. And the Pirates complete the sweep of the Reds this weekend. Trevor Bauer looked pretty good for Cincinnati, but still couldn't get them the victory. Pirates won 3-2 Friday, 14-0 on Saturday, and 98 today. By the way, special congratulations to Catherine Kyle, the lifelong Pirates fan. She's been a Pirates fan for 99 years. Yes, 99-year-old. Made it to PNC Park to watch her first ever baseball game today. It was a gift from her family, who knew how much she loves the Pittsburgh Pirates. And for whatever reason, the Diamondbacks just can't seem to get much hits against the Brewers. They did win today 5-2, but lost 6-1 Friday and 4-0 on Saturday. Brewers take the series 3-2. And the White Sox, they won 3 out of 4 games against the Rangers this weekend, 6-1 Thursday, 3-8 Friday. They lost 4-0 Saturday and then won today 2-0. Now, during today's game, they had Ronaldo Lopez out there on the mound, who was taken out of the game after 5 no-hit innings. He was throwing a no-hitter through 5 innings. He had to be taken off the mound due to flu-like symptoms because the man was severely dehydrated. Lopez, drink some water before you go out there, please. You're only going to hurt yourself and your team in the end. It pays to stay hydrated, even if it's Gatorade. The Astros, they complete the sweep of the Angels this weekend, winning 5-4, 5-2, and then 11-2 today. As usual, Astros continue to dominate. And the Twins managed to get 2 wins over the Tigers this weekend. They did lose 9-6 on Friday, but then they won 2 straight, 8-5 yesterday and 7-4 today. And the Nationals, they sweep the Cubs. Nats really pushing for that final playoff spot. They won 9-3 on Friday, 7-2 Saturday, and 7-5 today in 11 innings. Patrick Corbin, 8 scoreless innings for the Nationals. Oh, you can't write a better story than that. Mariners, meanwhile, had an up-and-down weekend against the Blue Jays, winning 7-4 Friday, and then they lost 7-5 to the Blue Jays, but then won again 3-1. They're going to need some of those hitting bats if they want to beat the Yankees this week. Got a tough challenge ahead of them. Cardinals with a strong sweep over the Rockies, 5-6 to Thursday. Sorry, 8-5. Oh my goodness, 8-3 Friday, 6-0 yesterday, and they're currently winning 9-3 today to complete the sweep. I apologize, I didn't realize today's game was still going on. We can scroll up here. There we go. Okay, 9-3, bottom of the 6th right now. The Cardinals are looking to take over once again against those Rockies. And the Giants, with 2 games against the A's this weekend, they won both of them. 10-5 on Saturday and 5-4 today. Oh, and by the way, they're at 500. Sweet. In the San Diego Padres, they could not complete the win. They couldn't. They only won 1 game against the Red Sox this weekend, 3-1. That was today, but they did lose 11-0 on Friday and then 5-4 yesterday. At least that one was kind of close. Couldn't do it, though. Red Sox got the better of them in 2 of those 3 games. And, of course, the Yankees and Dodgers. What a time for baseball to see 2 of the best teams in the game, 2 old rivals going at it back and forth. What kind of uniforms were they wearing? I mean, come on. Look, I get Players Weekend, you know, they get to wear their nicknames on the uniforms. It's an excuse for you to sell jerseys. Honestly, it was ugly as sin. All right, let them wear the nicknames, but with the old uniforms, maybe something like that. I don't really know, or just don't do it this weekend. Time it for a different time, like when the Yankees are playing the Orioles or somebody we don't care about. Either way, Yanks got the best of the Dodgers 10-2 on Friday, but then lost 2-1 yesterday after some questionable calling by the umpires. The Yankees and the umps have been going back and forth quite a bit the last few weeks. And how many times has Brett Gardner been kicked out of games now? A lot. Right now, the score is currently 1-1, bottom of the first. So fans who are watching or have already watched the game, because this will air after the game ends, buckle up for a good game, I guess. I don't know. If anyone can hear me, anyone hearing me live, I don't think so. If you can, enjoy that game. Now, usually I have the standings up on the screen for you. I don't have that today, but I do have them written down in front of me. If we're looking at the AL East, the Yankees still on top, 84-47, followed by the Rays. You have the Twins in the AL Central. They're at 79-51. 3.5 games behind them is the Indians. And then in the AL West, you have the Astros, who are 9.5 games ahead of the Athletics. If the playoffs started right here, right now, you'd have the Rays and the Indians playing off in that, whatever wild card game, playing game, whatever you want to call it. And between the two, I mean, yeah, the Indians have had a rough week, but I think they're the better team. They're the more experienced team. It would look much better if they kept Trevor Bauer, but for some reason they didn't want to do that. Whatever. So yeah, Indians. I'd say the Indians would beat the Rays. Then they're going to get stuck playing the Astros, who are going to wipe the floor with them. Yankees and Twins. Come on, we've seen this happen in the playoff way too many times. The Yankees are going to destroy the Twins, even though they're the hard-hitting, bombing, whatever home run master team we all think the Twins are. I'm going with the Yankees in that one, and then Yankees-Astros. So, really, my opinions here haven't changed. I still think Yankees-Astros is the way to go. And, unfortunately, I still think the Astros are the better team. Between Verlander and Greinke, they're built for the playoffs. They're built to take on the Dodgers. The Yankees, meanwhile, can't keep their players healthy. They can't seem to find any sort of normal rhythm. They'll win 8 games in a row and then lose 4 straight. I'm just not seeing it for them, as much as it kills me to say that. But, you never know how this season shakes out. Maybe they get really healthy. Well, most of those players, the timetable to return is mid-September, although some of these guys we were expecting, like Severino, should have been back 2 months ago. Doesn't seem to be in the cards just yet. Looking at the National League, Braves on top in the NL East. They're 6 games ahead of the Nationals. Phillies and Mets, who a week ago looked like they were pushing towards that spot, starting to not look as great right now. In the NL Central, the Cardinals did lose their grip on on first place for a very brief moment this week. They are 2 games ahead of the Cubs, 4 games ahead of the Brewers. And then in the West, you have the Dodgers, who are 20.5 games ahead of the Giants. Giants, by the way, are 500. They are in the running. Giants and Diamondbacks, and maybe even the Padres are in the running for a wild card slot. But you have a month to go. So a lot of those squads really don't have it. So wild card teams here would be the Nationals, without a doubt, that number one slot. And then you have the Cubbies at number 2. Cubs and Nationals playing in a play-in game. Actually, kind of an exciting game. I like the Cubs, but I don't rule out the Nationals here. They've had a pretty good season. They do have some nasty starting pitching, although you only have one pitcher going in. So who's it going to be? Strasburg or Patrick Corbin? I don't know. I would go with the Cubs, but that's a close game you're talking about here. Going with the Cubbies in that one, right? Then the winner plays the Dodgers. They're gonna get they're gonna get it totally crushed. I think the Cubs will give the Dodgers a run for their money, but Dodgers are gonna beat them down. Braves and Cardinals. Going with the Braves. Young team, talented team. Braves and Dodgers would then be playing each other in this weird scenario, in which case, come on, Dodgers all the way. And this may even be their year, too. I don't know. We'll see. Let's see how they shake out against the Yankees this weekend. I know I did have the score. It's now the third as I record this, and still 1-1. So nothing really special going on there. Other bit of news, Pablo Sandoval, he'll be undergoing Tommy John surgery, so his season's going to come to an end. Kung Fu Panda was having a career rebirth with the Giants this year. Best season he's had since the moment he signed with the Red Sox, and now it just doesn't seem to be working out for him. So, unfortunately, he'll be sidelined, and that ends his roaring comeback. All right, friends, stick with us. We're going to return, and we're going to talk all about foosball. Football is coming back strong. We got the NFL extravaganza coming from us to you. Oh, my goodness. Just knocked this out of my ear. I'm so excited. Headphones are falling out of my ears. Our NFL extravaganza is going to be coming up soon. So we're going to talk football after the break. And then, stick with us, friends. Sports. We're going to be right back.
League MVP, Defensive Player of the Year. Now it's time to add to your resume. NBA champion. How does that sound?
Man, I'm so hyped right now. Anything's possible. Anything's possible!
Hey everybody, it is Jamie Brum here. I am just trying to introduce you to a new podcast that I will be in with my friend Nick Drago. It is called Big Spoon, Little Spoon, and what we're going to do is just pick a random topic out of a hat, talk about it, see if we can learn anything, and just have a little fun. So if you want to contact us, see us, we are going to be on Facebook, Twitter. You can email us at wehateforks@gmail.com, and you can also find us on all of your favorite podcast apps. Look forward to seeing you.
Crowd silent now, as opposed to when the Saints have the ball. Oh, look at this run! What a run! Marshawn Lynch still on his feet. Has blockers now. He's dancing his way for the top.
All right, friends, welcome back to the show. I did promise we're going to talk about some football, so that's what we're going to talk about today. A lot of NFL games happening this weekend. Preseason, it doesn't really matter, but hey, regular season's right around the corner. No better way to celebrate than with our NFL extravaganza. It's going to be premiering on Labor Day. That's right. So, on the night of Labor Day, Labor Night Day, on that night, you can catch our NFL extravaganza. That'll be next week's episode. We're going to have some special guests on the show to talk a little football, their thoughts on the season. So you're not going to want to miss this one. It's going to be a big episode. Really big episode. Really big. All right, friends, stay with us on that one. But let's talk about the games from this weekend, weekend, whatever it was, because there were quite a few. Okay, so for this weekend's games, the Giants remaining undefeated in the preseason. They beat the Bengals 25-23. It was basically tied up until the fourth quarter. Giants, with 6 minutes to go, scored the touchdown. Bengals hurting right now without A.J. Green out on the field. And the Ravens, they are also undefeated in the preseason. They beat the Eagles this weekend 26-15. Now, it was 26-0 going into the fourth quarter. Eagles did manage to score something, but the Ravens looked pretty strong, and the Eagles not so much. At least the first string, the starters, as far as they're concerned. Redskins, they beat the Falcons 19-7. Falcons ending a very miserable preseason. Really, it was the Redskins took over 4 field goals by by their field goal person. We're gonna get that for you in a second. Who was it? 4 field goals. 4 of them. All right, anyway, they did announce, Washington Redskins, Jay Gruden announced that the starter for the Redskins this season would be none other than Case Keenum. Smart move. Go with the guy who has the experience. Dwayne Haskins looks great, but, let him sit behind the bench for a few weeks. He'll be starting by the end of the season. Case Keenum's going to be terrible. And so will the Redskins. And the Patriots led the charge against the Panthers. Cam Newton getting hurt. Fingers crossed it won't be too long. Panthers are going to need him out there. Plus, it was just recently announced that the Patriots will indeed be activating Josh Gordon from the non-football injury list, which means expect to see some Josh Gordon, Tom Brady magic. Hopefully not, because I like the Jets, as you can see behind me, but, you never know for certain. And the Hard Knocks, the Oakland Raiders, they got a win over the Packers 22-21. The Pack was up 21-10 at halftime, and the Raiders basically scored 22 straight points, including 10 with just a few minutes to go in the game. By the way, Antonio Brown, his second grievance against the NFL for this whole helmet kerfuffle was denied, which means that once again, Antonio Brown, you're either wearing the helmet or you can retire. Shut up and just play, my man. And the Dolphins, they got to win 22-7 over the Jaguars. Jags have yet to win in the preseason. Doesn't really matter anyway, but, we like to say these things. We like to keep these scores. Still no word yet on whether or not it'll be Fitzmagic or Josh Rosen starting for the Finns. And the Buccaneers, they get a win 13-12 over the Browns, thanks to, was it Matt Gay, who had a field goal with just a few seconds left on the clock. Bucks getting the win over what many are expecting to be a competitive Cleveland Browns team. And the Bills, they did get a win over the Lions. They're still undefeated in preseason as well, 24-20 in that one. And 2 late touchdowns for the Vikings give them the win over the Cardinals. Yes, Cards were up 9-7. Vikings came back to win this one. And the Cowboys win against the... Did I say win? The Cowboys absolutely, positively murdered the Texans 34-0. Come on, Texans throwing up a bagel here. Cowboys, meanwhile, still dealing with the holdout by Ezekiel Elliott. And fingers crossed that Jerry Jones figures that one out soon, or maybe Zeke will just play somewhere else. I'd be okay with that. I don't know about you, everyone who doesn't live in Dallas. And the Bears and Colts, yes. We will talk about the Colts, just not at this exact moment. Bears and Colts, with the Bears winning 27-17. And the Saints and Jets, they have a lot to be happy about. Darnold looks good. Breeze looks good. Saints did win this one 28-13. And yeah, it took the Jets a little bit to get the ground rolling. But again, I'm going to turn here so you can see that I am still a Jets fan. Fingers crossed that we see a few more wins from them during the regular season. And rounding out the pack of the weekend games, 49ers beat the Chiefs 27-17. Yeah, 49ers won it with 2 late touchdowns. Same goes for the Rams with the last minute TD. And by last minute, I mean there were a couple of minutes left. They won it 10-6. And then the Seahawks, they were ahead 23-3 actually. Chargers did try to make a comeback late in the game, but it was way too late for them, and they lost 23-15. Steelers and Titans, they're going to be playing actually as I record this episode, so not going to have a score for you on that one tonight. Well, fans this week were very upset to hear the news that Andrew Luck would be retiring from the NFL. Did I read that right? Andrew Luck? Yes, indeed. Luck has been with the NFL for a number of years, playing for the Indianapolis Colts, and really did a great job stepping in after Peyton Manning had moved on from Indianapolis and was sent over to the Broncos. In his time here, Luck has done so much for the city of Indianapolis, and it's such a shame to hear about all the injuries. But, these things do happen to pile up. I mean, he was injured for how long because of his shoulder? He couldn't play at all. And really, it just caught up to him. He had the kidney puncture. He had, he had the calf injury that he's been dealing with this offseason. He did lead them to back-to-back AFC titles, AFC South titles, appearance in the AFC Championship game in 2014. I'm sorry, it was the shoulder, the kidney, and the rib. Those were some of the injuries that he had right now. That he had previously, and that held him off the field for quite some time. And then last season, he finally comes back to play, throws for 4,593 yards, 39 touchdowns, NFL Comeback Player of the Year, led the Colts to the playoffs for the first time since 2014, and reminded everyone in the league that he is one of the top quarterbacks out there. But once again, this calf strain, he hasn't been able to participate in camp. I don't know if there's some other circumstances that maybe we just don't know about. But it is unfortunate to hear about. I think for Luck, as much as I'd love to see him try to come out there and make a comeback, he's making a good move. He's trying to keep his body healthy. He has his family to worry about. And, there's always going to be something out there for him, whether it's broadcasting, maybe coaching. I mean, this guy has such a great mind for the game. Yes, he has a fantastic arm, as you can see from some of these plays that we're showing here. But such a great mind for the game that I definitely don't see him just being totally gone at this point. Hopefully he'll help Jacoby Brissett. With him on the field, the Colts would have been they would have been the team to, maybe not win the Super Bowl, but you're talking about a strong playoff team, a real contender. And now with him gone and Jacoby Brissett leading the charge, I just don't feel that way anymore. And maybe they got to go out and make a big deal, some trade or something, bring him in. But you're watching the throws that he makes in this highlight reel, for those of you watching our YouTube channel, and you have to think, what does this mean for the Colts? Where do they go from here? I think they'll have a decent season. Jacoby Brissett isn't terrible. He did play under Tom Brady, although that's not really saying much. Tom Brady is more of the kind to just shun his backup away to the corner. But, I definitely don't think the Colts are going to be a contender this season. I don't see it, at least. If you feel differently, please email me, sports3xpodcast@gmail.com. Regardless, thank you to Andrew Luck for all the years of exciting football. It has absolutely been a pleasure watching you play the game. So thank you for everything, Andrew. All right, and with that, let's have a commercial break. When we return, we got to talk about Evgeny Kuznetsov, and we got to talk about who the Lakers signed this week. Ooh, boy. Things are going to get interesting in La La Land. Stay with us, friends. Grab your popcorn and a beer, because sports will be back here in a moment.
It's Schultz working it back in deep. Fresh from the bench, it's Crosby. Crosby on Kunitz and shot. Penguins win it! And they go to the final! Chris Kunitz with his second of the game. Fresh legs by Crosby. And a bunch of happy humans here in Pittsburgh.
Has this ever happened to you? You're out late, maybe you're having a little bit of fun, maybe there's a cute girl over there, and you look down and you realize, I forgot to wear my pants today. It happens to me all the time, I swear. Well, do I have the product for you? It's Pants App. It's an app that you press a button and somebody comes by with pants. Just delivers them right to you. He'll even help you put them on for a little additional fee. And his tip is really just zipping up the pants yourself. So you don't even have to tip the guy. Okay, that's a really bad idea. But you know what would be a better one? Your own idea. If you have something you want to advertise on our show, please email me, sports3xpodcast@gmail.com. We're always looking for some folks who want to promote their business. So again, sports3xpodcast@gmail.com.
Here's the 0-1. This is going to be a tough play. Bryant, the Cubs win the World Series. Bryant makes the play. It's over. And the Cubs have finally won it all.
All right, friends, two big pieces of news from this weekend before I wrap up the show. Evgeny Kuznetsov has been suspended for 4 years from the International Hockey Association, also known as, Federation, the IIHF. That's a pretty substantial ban. That means he is not allowed to participate in international play for 4 whole years. And that's a long time when it comes to international play. I'm going to look this up right here. Kuznetsov. I spelled that way wrong. 4 years is a long time in international play. We have yet to hear exactly what the NHL plans to do about this. But essentially he was caught in a video back in May. He was caught at a party where cocaine was being snorted. I don't believe the video shows him snorting cocaine, but he was there and present while this was happening, which is a clear violation of the rules for conduct. A statement here by the Capitals states that we are aware of positive... Oh, I'm sorry. He also tested positive. So he was in the video and then tested positive for it. I apologize. I believe the video, maybe it prompted them to test for the drugs. We are aware of the positive test results and related international sanction that has been imposed on Evgeny Kuznetsov. We are disappointed with this development and take this occurrence seriously. We understand that Evgeny has voluntarily sought help through the education and counseling program provided by the NHL/NHLPA collective bargaining agreement and has agreed to a regular testing protocol relating to his involvement with that program. In addition, we are committed to ensuring he has the necessary support required to work through this situation. We will remain in contact with the NHL as they determine the next steps. Because of the sensitive nature surrounding the matter, there will be no further comment from us at this time. Evgeny released his own statement that says, recently the IIHF notified me that due to a positive test for a banned substance, I would be suspended from international competition for 4 years. I made the decision to accept this penalty. Representing my country has always been so close to my heart and something that I take so much pride in. Not being able to put that sweater on for the next 4 years is very hard to take. I've disappointed so many people that are important to me, including my family, teammates, and friends. From the first day I took the ice in D.C., the Washington Capitals organization and our fans have been nothing but great to me and my family. I feel absolutely terrible for letting you down. I realize that the only way I can win you back is to take ownership of my situation and my actions from this point forward. First off, to Evgeny Kuznetsov, I hope you get help. Second of all, I'm really happy that when we play Russia in the next Olympics, you won't be there, because that's going to help. Well, actually, it was all amateurs the last time around anyway, but either way, international hockey play is a big deal. Like I said, we don't know what the NHL is going to do about this yet, whether they decide to suspend him or not. We're still waiting to find out on that. Signs seem to point to him not being suspended for a particularly long time, especially now that he's seeking help, but we'll see how that goes. This weekend, the Lakers made quite the sign. Dwight Howard. I honestly thought this was a joke when I saw this. So for those of you that don't remember, way back in the day, and by way back in the day, we're going to go all the way back to 2004, between the times of 2004 and 2011, Dwight Howard was one of the best basketball players in the world. Hands down. He was up there. He's winning the dunk contest. He's bringing Orlando to NBA Finals. He was the man. Now, things changed. He ended up getting traded over to the Lakers. And while with the Lakers, they had a team with Steve Nash. They had Gasol. They had Kobe the Man Bryant. This was a super team in the making. And Dwight Howard was a cancer killing that super team. He wasn't a team player. His stats dropped significantly. He was averaging about 20 points per season, and it dropped to 17.1. Things didn't go well for the 76 games he was there. Lakers ended up missing the playoffs, and he wound up in Houston. Things also got bad when he didn't really get along all that great with James Harden. Although he was there in Houston for 3 years, just didn't go his way. Again, his stats dropped to a mere 13.7 by 2015. And then he sort of fell apart. He went to Atlanta. He did have a short rebirth with Charlotte, although they did not like having him there. And he ended up playing just 9 games with the Washington Wizards last season. Dwight has been spiraling out of control since the moment he left Orlando. And now here he is, going back to the place where this whole thing began. The big thought at the time was that Dwight couldn't handle playing in a big market, and he's proved that. Orlando's a much smaller market than Los Angeles, but here you are back once again. Will LeBron James protect you? That's the question. So Howard met with James and Anthony Davis and basically told them how much he wanted redemption. Now listen, the whole thing that caused them to do this is DeMarcus Cousins getting injured. DeMarcus Cousins was never meant to be a key piece on that roster. Although he's a flashy name, he too has not been a relevant player in the last few years. Neither will Dwight Howard. This isn't going to help you. This is not going to help the Lakers make the playoffs. It's not going to make them a better team. I appreciate the fact that this guy's out there. He's trying to win. He's trying to prove he can still play basketball. I would have thought Carmelo Anthony would be a better pull-in than this guy. I mean, honestly, even a Pete Rose. Oh my God, Derrick Rose. Even Pete Rose would be a better pickup than Dwight Howard. Now, listen, I mean, I don't think this was a smart move for the Lakers. I don't think this was a smart move for Dwight Howard. You know, I hope he gets... I mean, this would be a really cool redemption story for sure. This is a different team than was there when Dwight was playing for the Lakers. There's much less pressure on him, much more pressure on LeBron and Anthony Davis. They're going to look for anything they can. And listen, we've seen LeBron do this before. He might try to bring in a big player like this, but guess who his scapegoat is going to be? It's going to be Dwight Howard. If they start losing, LeBron's going to point fingers to somebody, and Dwight Howard is a big enough name for LeBron to point fingers to and make it a really flashy headline. He's been doing it his whole career, back when he was with Cleveland, back when he was with the Heat. I just don't think this is remarriage, whatever you want to call it, is going to end well for Dwight. But you never know. Hopefully the guy succeeds. Maybe we'll see a championship for the Lakers, and Dwight Howard can ride off in the sunset happy. Or maybe Lakers don't make the playoffs this year. It could really go either way, honestly. All right. With that, I think I'm going to end the show today. I've talked enough. My jaws are tired from all the flapping they're doing. Special thanks, as usual, to Johanna Drago. She is the comment designer. She's the content editor, logo designer, and set designer for this podcast. Of course, we have to thank Josh Woodward. The music for this podcast is a song called Golden Sunrise by Josh Woodward. A link to his website can be found in the show notes. My gosh, I'm terrible today. Show notes. If you like what you heard today, find us on SoundCloud, YouTube, Twitter, and the Google. Just type in Sports with Nick Drago. You can also email me directly, sports3xpodcast@gmail.com. And look out there for my new podcast, Big Spoon, Little Spoon. You can find us on all your favorite podcast apps, Facebook, or on the Twitter as well. You can also email us, which is wehateforks@gmail.com if you're interested in more information. Feel free to email me there. With that, comment, share, email, Twitter at us, and all that other jibber jabber, because I love hearing from you, the fans. Thank you so much once again for joining me today in another exciting episode of Pardon My Take. Oh, wrong show. Another exciting episode of Sports with Nick Drago. Once again, I'm exhausted, I need to sleep, and clearly I'm just saying whatever comes into my head because I'm not even making any sense today. So thank you, friends, for once again joining me again on the show. Have a good night. Caw-caw!